Hello, and welcome to the Kathleen Spracklin podcast. I am a woman on a mission to gather a cadre of writers, thinkers, and teachers who are transforming the world one character at a time. And it all starts with one thing: a deep understanding of human motivation, why people do what they do, and the forces that drive them. However, I've been on a roll lately working on Zettelkastens. And in point of fact, today's episode, number 147, is the philosophy of Zettelkasten card associations. Well, jellyfish, here we come again. You may recall that I played with a set of jellyfish cards, and the first time I shuffled them and played them out, I was so excited because they divided themselves up into two directory cards that just really were to the point on what really belonged together between the general knowledge about jellyfish and the layers of the jellyfish. Well, then I was challenged to reorder them. What if we had a worst possible case of the ordering? And with the worst possible case of the ordering, I just ended up with one directory card with all the jellyfish stuff on the card. It wasn't nearly as satisfying. It was okay, but it wasn't terribly exciting. Well, now there's another question that came up that made me want to revisit that whole topic. And that is the question of what if your new card that comes along doesn't really go all that well with the existing card? Are you obligated to say that those two cards are associated just because they have one key word in common? And if you relax a little bit that standard and say, wait a minute, this is my choice, this is my Zettelkasten, I don't think these two cards are exactly go together very well at all. And let's take a look. We're going to go back to the cards and take a look at what that one decision changes in the shape of the cards that come out, holding that same worst case order. Do we make more sense out of it if we're a little more discriminating with our associations? Let's take a look. Let's head on over to the cards. Okay, we're continuing our testing of how to set up cards associations in a new Zettelkasten where the cards are sparse and the associations are possibly a little stretched and strained. So this is that same test where the cards came in the worst possible order for our Zettelkasten to make sense out of them. Now take a look at what this method gives us. So as before, we start with the middle layer of the jellyfish is jelly-like, and that is going to be our first card. Well, using our effortless numbering system, we know what that card number is. That card number is card 1. That card is coded. Now we get our next card. Jellyfish are 95% water. What card does this card go with? Well, our first time around we said, well, it goes with this card because they're both about jellyfish. But there's another way of thinking about this, which could say, well, does it really go with this card? This card is general knowledge about jellyfish, and this is very specific about jellyfish structure. I'm not convinced that this card really goes with this card. I think he's a separate topic. He's jellyfish general knowledge, and he's jellyfish structure. So if you make that decision, then you have a new topic, so you need card number 2. I'll make my one a little clearer. Card 2. All right, we've got our first 2 cards placed. Now let's look at our third card. Large jellyfish sometimes eat small jellyfish. Well, that one's easy. It's a general knowledge about jellyfish, so it goes most closely associated with card 2, which is also general knowledge about jellyfish. So this card is clearly 2A. And we file it behind card 2. Next card. Our next card, jellyfish outer layer is the epidermis. Oh, that goes best with card 1 because it's about the structure of a jellyfish. So that's easy. This is card 1A. And it goes behind our card 1. All right, now we have another one. Jellyfish have been around 500 million years. Oh, that's easy. That's general knowledge about jellyfish. It goes with card 2. It should be 2A. Uh-oh, we already have a 2A. Must be 2B. And since we have a 2A and a 2B, and both of those cards want to come right after card 2, we need a directory card. Okay, so now with our directory card in place, we have card 2 that has 2 cards that want to be right next to it, 2A and 2B, and all 3 cards are about general knowledge about jellyfish. Let's get our next card. The inner layer of a jellyfish is where they digest their food. Oh, that's jellyfish structure. That's easy. It goes with card 1, which is also about jellyfish structure. It must be 1A. Oops, we already have a 1A. No problem, 1B. But since we have a 1A and a 1B, guess what? We need a directory card. So here we have our directory card with our 1A and 1B. And so now here's where we are. Now we have one more card left to pull. And that is our card. Jellyfish have no organs. They have 3 layers. Huh, that's interesting. It kind of goes with this one because it's about the structure of a jellyfish. But it kind of seems to go with this one too because it's general knowledge that they don't have any organs. Huh, which one? Well, you'd get to make your choice, but I think I'm going to choose that it's more about the structure. So I'm going to call it 1C. And I'm going to have now that my jellyfish have no organs. And that this whole group, which is all about the layers of the jellyfish, are together. And this group, which is all about the general knowledge, are together. It's even better than the first time when we got lucky with the order. And in fact, if we still are debating where we really want to have that jellyfish having no organs, we might just want to say over here, put in a reference to card 1C, jellyfish have no organs. And what do you think of that? The only change we had to make was a decisional change where we had to say that, wait a minute, I don't think card 2 on jellyfish really goes all that well with the card 1 on the middle layer of the jellyfish. And having made that choice, the whole thing fell into place beautifully. Of course, there's no guarantee that this card 2 would have come first. The next card we might have pulled might have been about coral reefs, in which case that would have been card 2, and this might have been all the way down at 3 or 4 or 5 or who knows how far down. But with the magic of links, we could always keep them together. So in point of fact, you could have started by this very card and said, I don't know, I think it's by itself, but it really could have been maybe a subcase of this, in which case you'd have had another directory here, which would point to card 2, jellyfish are 95% water. And then it wouldn't really matter at all how far apart they were. They would point to each clump would point to each other. So still experimenting. Let me know what you think. How's this looking to you? How are you coming down with the question of, do we want those 4-digit categories, or can we just go straight on with the effortless numbering system? I'd love to hear from you, either here as a comment to the YouTube, or we have a discussion thread going on this in lilypub.org. We'd love to see you over there as well. Okay, thank you much. Bye-bye.